Have you ever found yourself using Claude AI, maybe having a conversation and thinking, this is good, but ChatGPT still feels better somehow?
Yeah, I've heard.
If that thought's crossed your mind, well, you might just be missing out on its real power, its hidden strengths.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through that noise, and pull out the stuff that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're doing a deep dive into Claude AI, really trying to unlock its full potential for you.
Exactly.
Our mission, reveal its unique edges, clear things up, and show you how to leverage Claude in ways that might actually, surprise you.
Right. We'll start with the plans, the pricing, then take a look at the interface, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Then we'll put it up against ChatGPT, see where each one shines. But the core, the real focus, will be on those game-changing features, the ones you probably haven't found yet.
Consider this your roadmap.
Let's start with the practical stuff then, the pricing. Because, before you jump in, it helps to know what you're looking at.
For sure. So the free plan, it's actually quite generous. You get something like 30 to 40 messages a day,
Okay.
which sounds like a decent amount, right? But honestly, I've found you can burn through that pretty fast,
Oh, yeah. How so?
especially if you're uploading files or
Sure.
having those longer back and forth chats, complex stuff.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But it's great for just like dipping your toes in,
Yeah.
getting a feel for it.
Totally. It gives you that initial sense. Then if you find yourself using it more, there's the pro plan. That's $20 a month.
Right. And that bumps you up to about 45 messages every 5 hours.
Which, for what I'd call a moderate user,
Yeah.
someone using it during the day, but not like constantly.
Yeah, that's usually plenty. More than enough for most regular workflows.
But then there are the power users.
Yes. For those folks, the ones really integrating AI deep into their work, there's the Max plan, $100 a month.
Wow, okay.
And that's basically for, near unlimited access. If Claude becomes totally central to how you work, that's probably the one. But here's a thought, maybe a pro tip. Don't let the limits totally put you off exploring it. The features, which we'll get into, are genuinely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, for a lot of people, hitting those caps isn't a constant problem. The value's often there regardless.
So when someone's trying to decide what's the key takeaway, the main thing to think about.
Just understand your own usage,
Yeah.
really. Then pick the plan that fits how you work.
Simple as that. Okay, so moving from money to the actual experience, the interface.
Right.
When you land on Claude AI, it's striking, isn't it? How simple it is.
It really is super clean, sleek, almost minimalist.
Yeah, it feels approachable, not scary like some tech can be.
Exactly. And you've got the main prompt box, obviously. That's your hub where the conversation happens.
Mm-hmm.
And right next to it, that little paperclip icon.
Ah, the file upload.
Yeah. And don't underestimate that. It's not just text Claude handles. It can look at images, PDFs, Word docs, even Excel sheets.
Spreadsheets, too.
Yep. Imagine uploading like a dense research paper or a client brief and just asking Claude to pull out the key points or summarize it.
Okay, that's pretty versatile.
Definitely.
And then around the interface, you find the other key bits, settings and tools.
Right. You can choose your AI model there.
Yeah.
Like 3.5 Sonnet for speed on simpler stuff.
Or for Opus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Opus is the powerhouse. For that really complex, reasoning, deep analysis, it might be a tad slower, but the results.
Worth it for the right task.
Totally. Knowing when to use which is key. And then you mentioned projects.
Yeah, we'll definitely circle back to that. Huge feature, separate workspaces, saved context, really powerful.
And don't forget the web search toggle.
Right, keeps it current. Pulls in real-time info from the internet, super useful.
So it's not just working off old data.
Beyond just looking good, though, how does that simple design actually help the user? What's the functional benefit?
It just lowers the barrier. Makes complex AI feel easy to start with. Reduces cognitive load.
Okay, now this next bit it's really important. And it's something, honestly, a lot of users skip. I'll admit, I still sometimes forget these foundational things myself.
Oh, yeah. Which part?
Setting up your user profile properly.
Yes. Crucial. You go into settings.
And you tell Claude about yourself, like your work function. Are you in marketing, a student, software engineer? What's your role?
Right. And it's more than just the job title. You can specify preferences too.
Like how?
Like, do you want casual responses or really structured ones? Maybe you wanted to avoid jargon.
Ah, interesting.
Taking just a couple minutes to do that up front It helps Claude understand your general needs, your context.
So it's like giving it a baseline understanding of you.
Exactly. Saves you repeating yourself constantly, which, is a huge time saver. It leads to a much more personalized experience right from the start.
So what happens if someone just blows past this step? What's the immediate downside they'd feel?
You just get blander, less relevant answers,
Yeah.
less efficient, more generic AI.
Got it. Okay, let's bring in the big comparison. Claude versus ChatGPT. Head to head.
A main event.
Let's start with writing style, creativity.
Okay. Here, I think Claude often shines. Its output can be incredibly natural, almost uncanny sometimes, very human-like, and it's really good at mimicking specific styles if you guide it. ChatGPT is great too, obviously, very capable.
But sometimes.
Sometimes it can feel a little robotic or just, clearly AI generated.
Yeah.
For that really authentic voice, Claude often has the edge.
Okay, edge to Claude for natural writing. What about complex reasoning? Thinking through tough problems.
This is interesting. Both are powerhouses here. Claude has that extended thinking feature we touched on.
Right, where it shows its work.
Yeah. It breaks down its reasoning step by step, which is fantastic for transparency, for checking its logic, even for learning yourself.
That's cool.
ChatGPT is also incredibly strong, especially with coding or pure logic problems. It's very robust.
So for complex reasoning.
Honestly, I'd probably call it a tie. They're both top tier, maybe just slightly different approaches.
All right. Now here's a big one. Context window. Tokens.
The memory limit.
Explain tokens quickly for us.
Think of them as pieces of text, like words or parts of words. The context window is how many tokens the AI can remember in one single conversation.
And Claude's limit.
Up to 200,000 tokens.
200,000.
Yeah, which is huge. Think about it. That's like a 150,000-word book, a massive research paper, all digestible in one go.
Wow. Okay, just pause on that. Imagine the sheer volume of information Claude can process at once. A single analysis could pull from like an entire library shelf of documents.
Exactly. ChatGPT's is good, around 128,000, but Claude's capacity here, it's the clear winner for anything involving really long documents or conversations, analyzing huge reports, summarizing books.
Massive advantage there. Okay, what about images, creating pictures?
Simple one, Claude doesn't do it, period.
And ChatGPT.
His daily 3-build right in, so easy win for ChatGPT on image generation.
Right. But Claude has something unique you mentioned earlier, artifacts.
Yes, artifacts. This is cool. Claude can create interactive, editable, visual things within the chat.
Like what?
Like charts, diagrams, even basic UI mockups, things you can actually work with.
And ChatGPT doesn't have that.
Nope, no direct equivalent. So for that kind of interactive visual component generation, Claude takes it.
Okay. And the last big one, privacy. This is huge for many people.
Definitely. And here, Claude has a strong story. By default, it does not use your data to train its models.
Okay, that's default opt-out of training.
Exactly. ChatGPT, on the other hand, may use your data by default for training. You usually have to go in and actively opt out.
So for users really focused on privacy?
Claude is generally seen as the more privacy-forward option right out of the box. Clear win there.
So after running through all that, if you had to boil it down,
Yeah.
what's the core difference for someone choosing between them?
Claude's edge. Long context, supernatural language, and that default privacy.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Let's see Claude in action. Some real-world examples.
Let's do it.
Example 1, professional emails. Say you need a sequence, 3 cold emails. Target, marketing directors at tech firms. Goal, introduce your CRO services. Conversion rate optimization.
Okay, classic B2B scenario. So you'd prompt Claude, but specifically, tell it to act as a B2B marketing expert, maybe with 15 years experience.
Right, give it a persona.
Then lay out the sequence precisely. Email 1, strong hook, maybe a shocking stat about CRO. Email 2, 3 days later, short, punchy case study. Email 3, 5 days after that. Gentle nudge, no pressure call to action.
And you'd specify the tone, too.
Absolutely. Professional, concise, value-driven. What Claude gives you back isn't just text. It structures the whole sequence, nails the tone, gets the little nuances right. It's really quite good at that detailed execution.
Impressive. Okay, example 2. Complex analysis. This probably needs the big gun, right? Claude 4 Opus.
Yeah, likely. And turn on extended thinking for this one.
All right, the scenario. You're facing a tough career choice. 2 job offers.
The classic dilemma.
Company A startup vibes. Maybe lower base salary, but stock options. Dynamic, exciting, probably long hours.
Right. High risk, high reward, maybe?
Company B, big corporation, higher salary, great benefits, very stable,
Yeah.
but maybe less autonomy, slower
A
pace.
safe bet, perhaps.
So you ask Claude, analyze these offers. Consider everything: hidden costs, long-term growth, work-life balance, the whole picture.
And this is where extended thinking shines.
No.
Claude doesn't just spit out, take job B.
No.
No, it shows its work. It breaks it down. Short-term financials, long-term potential, benefit valuation, cultural fit, career trajectory, risks.
Wow.
It lays out the factors objectively. It helps you structure your thinking rather than just giving you an answer. It's like having a super rational, unbiased thinking partner.
That's incredibly useful for big decisions. So what do these two examples really tell us about where Claude shines for a professional?
It really excels at structured, nuanced tasks and deep analytical thinking.
Which brings us perfectly to those truly game-changing features. The stuff that really sets Claude apart and, honestly, boosts productivity significantly.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
First up, creating custom writing styles. You said you can actually train Claude to write like you.
It's amazing. Honestly, it's one of my favorite features. You go into the Tools menu, hit Create New Style.
Go.
Then you upload a document. Needs to be at least 500 words of your own writing. An article, emails, anything that represents your style.
And Claude analyzes it.
Exactly. It looks at your sentence structure, your tone, common phrases, how you build arguments, your whole unique fingerprint. You preview it, save it, and bam.
Wow.
Claude now has your voice loaded in. Remember trying to get AI to draft something important and it just sounds wrong
Generic.
all the time?
Yeah.
That robotic feel.
This fixes that. It's massive for content creators needing consistency, or professionals wanting emails and reports to sound genuinely like them. Students, too, getting help without losing their own voice. Okay, that is game changer. Next, artifacts. You said this is powerful but underused.
Totally underutilized. It's brilliant. When you ask Claude for visual stuff charts, layouts, diagrams, it generates an artifact right there next to the chat.
An interactive element.
Yeah, often editable too. Think about asking it to create, say, a content calendar for your blog. In a table,
Okay.
you specify the columns: week, date, topic, keyword, promotion channel. Claude spits out a neat editable table right in the window. You can copy it, tweak it immediately. No awkward exporting, importing.
Nice. Any other examples?
Mind maps. Ask it to map out a campaign launch, main branches, market analysis, product features, marketing strategy, launch plan. It gives you a visual diagram. Great for organizing ideas, especially for visual thinkers. It changes how you interact with the output.
That sounds incredibly useful. Okay, the third big one, projects. This is a pro feature, you said.
Yes, pro and max plans. But wow, is it powerful for long-term work? It basically lets Claude act like a dedicated assistant for specific, well, projects. It remembers context.
How does that work in practice?
Imagine you're a consultant juggling multiple clients.
Okay.
You create a separate project in Claude for each one. Client A project, Client B project.
Got it, like folders.
Kind of, but smarter. Within each project, you upload everything relevant. Contracts, meeting notes, competitor research, their brand style guide. All of it.
So you feed it all the background info.
Exactly. You can even give it custom instructions for that project, like act as a strategic advisor or always focus on cost-effective solutions for this client. It's like building a dedicated brain for each client or initiative by stacking those Lego blocks of context.
So then when you ask a question...
Fifth quarter. Claude's answer isn't generic AI fluff. It's based on all the specific documents, instructions, and conversation history within that project.
Tailored, contextual advice, not just starting from scratch every time.
Precisely. It maintains that deep context. It's like having a team member who remembers everything about that specific client.
Okay, that sounds transformational for ongoing work. So thinking about our listener who really wants to boost productivity, which of those three custom styles, artifacts, or projects is the biggest needle mover?
Oh, projects. Easily. For maintaining that deep, ongoing context, nothing beats it.
Makes sense. Now, Claude is powerful, but not perfect. Let's talk pitfalls. Common mistakes people make.
Good idea. First one, generic prompts. Just asking, write about marketing.
Yeah, what are you even going to get back from that?
Exactly. It's too broad. Be specific. Write a 500-word blog post about 5 digital marketing trends for small businesses in 2025. Detail equals quality output.
Good rule of thumb. What else?
Don't blindly trust everything.
Hmm.
Always, always fact check, especially if you have the web search turned off or for critical data points. It's an AI. It can make mistakes or hallucinate.
Right, it's a tool, not an infallible oracle. Critical thinking still required.
Absolutely. And finally, understand its memory. Claude remembers the current chat or the context within a specific project.
It doesn't remember that chat you had yesterday about something totally different.
Not unless it was in the same project, no. Each conversation or project is kind of siloed. And honestly, I still sometimes trip up on remembering these basic operational things myself, which really highlights why features like projects are so useful for bypassing that limitation.
Good point. Okay, so let's distill this into an action plan for someone listening. What should they do?
All right. Step 1. Immediately. Go sign up. Claude AI. Start with the free plan, get a feel for it.
Okay.
Then right away, set up your user profile, tell it your role, your preferences. Try that cold email sequence example we discussed.
Put it to a real test.
Yeah, and upload some of your writing. Create that custom style. See how it feels when it starts sounding more like you.
Okay, that's day one. What about the first week?
First week, challenge it. Pick 3 to 5 tasks you do regularly. See how Claude handles them. Definitely create at least one artifact, a table, a mind map, whatever fits your work.
And
Crucial. Compare its output directly against whatever AI you use now, or even your own manual process.
yeah,
See where it actually helps.
makes sense. And then longer term, say the first month.
First month, if you have ongoing work, set up a project. Feed it context for a specific goal. Really test that long-term memory feature. Maybe try its deep research capabilities if you have a complex question.
And decide on upgrading.
Yeah, by then you should have a good sense of your usage. Does free work? Do you need pro? Maybe even max. Make an informed choice based on your actual needs.
Okay, that's a solid plan. If you had to pick just one single thing from that entire list, the absolute quickest win for a total beginner.
Set up your user profile. Instantly makes Claude feel more personalized and relevant. Quickest bang for your buck.
All right, so wrapping things up, Claude AI, it really feels like a significant step, doesn't it, in conversational AI?
It really does. Its strength isn't trying to be everything to everyone.
Right, it's about excelling in specific areas. That personalization, the deep reasoning, that natural way it communicates.
And those unique features we dove into, they really can change how you work, how you create content, maybe even how you think through problems.
Plus that commitment to privacy, responsible AI. It feels like a tool built with the user in mind.
Yeah, the focus seems to be on being genuinely helpful, Conversational, respectful of privacy, in a very fast-moving field. That focus makes it stand out.
So if you're listening and you're curious, ready to see if Claude can fit into your workflow,
Head over to Claude.ai, start playing around, experiment.
you might just find it's the AI assistant you've actually been waiting for.
And here's a final thought to chew on. Really taking the time to understand the unique strengths of any advanced tool, like Claude's context or its reasoning. That understanding can fundamentally shift not just the tasks you do, but maybe even how you approach problem solving itself, how you think.